I'm thinking this is going to win an Emmy, number one, first and foremost. You heard it here first. I knew that's going to happen. Secondly, we're going to add it to the show. Secondly,
multiple Emmy Award winner already. So
yeah, we will add it to the show.
There's room, though. There's room.
There's room.
I want to conquer all of New York.
I know I can make it here.
Let's strike a deal.
Ah, good job. Oh, that hurts.
The city will give you everything. It'll also take away everything.
Tricia, Jeff, owning Manhattan. I am obsessed. I love this show. And viewers are calling this show one of the best real estate shows yet. I'm just so curious, did either of you have any hesitation going into reality TV?
I didn't.
No. Because we were just going to be ourselves. So there was nothing to be hesitant about. We're going to be who we are, project who that is. And it's either going to be loved, which we knew was going to be loved anyway. She's loved and adored by everyone. So there's no reason why she wouldn't be or why we wouldn't be, because we're being authentic to who we are.
Yeah. And I think we knew that certain people would gravitate towards that and other people would gravitate away. And I mean, that's kind of how life is. I think it's different. It depends on who you are when you go into reality TV. But like, I know who I am. And I know that Jeff knows who he is.
You think you're about to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know that you know who you are too. And I believe that. And I think that I was more concerned with being really committed to being myself and to not letting reality TV impact how I showed up. That was important to me.
I feel like we've seen that so much where people sign on to do reality TV shows, and I imagine they know who they are. You know, what we wind up seeing and the edits and all those things, I think wind up being like a whole different depiction of who they are, which can be scary. But you guys, it feels like you came across like honestly two of the best people on the show.
I mean, I think part of it is like we actually have a real career in business, and no shade to those on the show that that do or don't. But the point is, like, we're aware of that, so we're making sure that whatever and whomever we portray ourselves are authentic to our business and to our brands. And, you know, a lot of people come into this, and I've mentioned this to other folks, a lot of people come into this blindly and they just get consumed by the reality TV machine, as it were, and become someone else. We're who we are times 10. That's who we are.
I have a really exciting stat. 512.2 million minutes of Owning Manhattan viewed in its first week, which is absolutely insane. Did either of you think this show was going to be that successful?
100%. Absolutely. I've been saying it the whole time, even when so many people were saying no, and so many people that I work with were like, "This is going to be a dumpster fire.
It's going to ruin the brand."
And I was like, no. I felt like the production company was so excited about the project. Like they were just meticulous with every detail. They were so excited, and then we had. Like they had handpicked like the best people. So our behind the scenes people are the best of the best.
Absolutely.
And that's where the true talent is. Like this is very new to me, but I'm like, wait, why do they call us talent? The real talent is going on behind the camera.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, like
exactly.
that should be the talent department. So we had the best people. So like I felt like we have the best broker in the world. We have this brand new firm that is getting so much buzz, and we have the best people backing us up, the best production company, the best network. Like we were set up for success. All we had to do was show up and be ourselves.
And I'll say one thing, one of the reasons why I thought and I knew, and I would say this all the time, I was like, I'm going to say it again here on record. I'm thinking this is going to win an Emmy, number one, first and foremost. You heard it here first. I knew that's going to happen. Secondly, we're going to add it to the show. Secondly,
multiple Emmy Award winner already. So
yeah, we will add it to the show.
There's room, though. There's room.
There's room. But I think what really should be noted is the diversity of the cast, and that diversity is, you know, reflective of New York City. And I think that's what really resonates to a lot of different audiences. So you have, you know, our storyline, you have, you know, Chloe and Jade's storyline, you have Jonathan's storyline. So there's storylines there to really engage various audiences. And that was done intentionally. And you couple that with the talented production people we have and the great storytelling that they've done. It's about, and New York City, most importantly, the New York City backdrop, and the fact that you get to really hear transactions happening. You get to see transactions. In the first episode, we close a transaction.
Yeah.
There are multiple transactions that are closed in the show, and that's not typically the case. So it's a good mix of entertainment, education, and real estate and diversity.
I mentioned multiple Emmy award winning for you. And then also, Tricia, you're successful. You had a big business in Brooklyn, very successful. Were there any friends or any folks in your circle that said, don't do this? This could hurt your brands. This could hurt the impact you've already made in the business world.
I didn't have that because I feel like my whole life people have thought that I should be on TV. Like, it's like you may meet, like I'm meeting the audience now, but I've always been told that. Like my babysitter from 5 years old was like, oh yeah, when I saw him on what happens live, I knew you were going to be on this show. I haven't seen that woman since I'm 5 years old, So I never had anyone that, if you know me, I don't think that anyone would have said that because I think that they know that I would have showed up as myself, and I think a lot of people just find my personality to be very entertaining. So no one said that about me, but a lot of people definitely said that, it's not smart to be a real agent with a real business and to go on to shows like that. But there's so many successful agents that are on reality TV that have phenomenal businesses. So I just think that that's nonsense. I think you have to manage it in the way that makes sense for you. But like when I look at Tracy Tudor and I look at Ryan Serhant right in front of me every day, like, come on, like these people have phenomenal businesses and have built empires. And they show up on TV every day still. So you can be multi-talented in different ways and it can all work to benefit your career, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and to Tricia's point, we have the blueprint. We have Ryan right here who built his career exclusively on, real estate television, reality television. Yeah. And so there's no one better to learn from to know what to do, what not to do, how far to push it, and have that mix of, real estate and showing who you are and showing how you're able to navigate through transactions and how you bring value to to your clients. And so it's a 24-hour commercial for the brand, and if you leverage it correctly, it's going to bring in tremendous amount of business, and that's what we're looking forward to, and it's already started to happen and continue to happen.
I love that you're also demonstrating successful relationships, and I don't think we see that often where you have a show, a reality show where you have a couple who's in this high power, high octane career, but also are thriving in a relationship. We saw zero friction. We saw zero drama between the two of you. How do you kind of maintain a healthy relationships in the midst of what you're doing with work?
Go ahead. I feel like we are figuring that out. I mean, I would hope that we don't give an example of, well, it's never gonna be perfection. Exactly. I'm a mess, but it may be like really, really good. But I think we're still figuring it out. And there is friction. There's always friction. But we definitely learned very early on how to manage friction when we were at work. And so you guys are seeing us, at work. And at work, it's just like we've always had to compartmentalize. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't be weird at a meeting because he left his pants in the dryer and they're not dry. Like that's just not something that we can do. So we've had to figure out compartmentalizing our day, and I think we do really well with that. But I don't think that we know what we're doing. I think we're figuring it out, and you all are watching that happen.
And I think with any relationship, it's always a work in progress. It's constant work. You speak to people who've been together for some time, they say it's always work, and that's the case with us. And it's just finding that line of demarcation when we know at this point, work is done. This is over, and then we pivot to this direction.
Okay.
So, I was always
waiting. The nerve of you to say that. The nerve of you. He oftentimes cannot find that line, and I have to really make a bold line. Let's just let that go on record. The nerve.
I'm also curious, like, who do you all look to? Because again, you might not realize it, but you're a couple that's like one of just a few that are successful on TV. That are doing business, and also we're kind of seeing the love play out as well. Who do you all look to as like whether they're celebrity power couples or just like couples J&B that you kind of look at them as a benchmark for business and love?
It's a good question. I've really never thought about that, but I have, in my own quiet moment I have, and this is gonna sound a little bit, far-fetched, but I really think of like Oprah and Stedman. Tricia is the breakout star of the show, right? And that's, we're not even speaking into existence. It is in existence. That's what it is, right? And so I have to be at peace with what I do and what I bring to the table and my knowledge. And you know, I know as the season progresses, there'll be more into our delve into our relationship and how we work together. But I think that's a good thing because, you know, Oprah does her thing and Stedman is there. He's steadfast, and you know, so you just have to be able to sometimes go to that. That's part of it. And other times, you know, you mentioned J and B. That's another thing too. Like Jay-Z has his own lane, does his own thing, and Beyonce has her tribe and her beehive. And we're gonna figure out a name for the T-Leers. I think we're gonna name that the T-Leers. We're gonna call it.
I like that.
So you have the T-Leers there, and so she does her thing individually, and then we can do things together collectively. So it's just that's really what it is. A combination of those two.
You know, speaking of social media, you mentioned TikTok. I was scrolling through the social medias, and people are already asking for season 2 of Owning Manhattan. So I want to know, will y'all be back? Is there a season 2 in the works?